Welcome to our Fantasy Golf Podcast. I am your host, Rusty Miller. And this is my good friend, Matt Jacobs. We're going to go over the Wyndham Championship today for 2017. It is where?
Sedgefield, Greensboro, North Carolina.
Just an hour and a half north of Charlotte, where the PGA was. So there's zero travel involved for those guys this week. So 7,100 yards,
Yep,
par 70.
Just a hair over 7,100, par 70. Couple par 5s. Should be reachable. Nothing major about this course that sticks out. No bombers that are needed. So should be a pretty interesting event. We talked a little bit earlier. I think scores are going to be low.
Yeah.
So
I think they're going to be real low.
yeah, if you look at the history,
Yeah.
you're looking at 21 under, 17, 17, 14, 18, 11 over the past few years. So
Yeah.
there's going to be a lot of birdies.
But really weak field this year.
Yes.
Only a couple stars.
Yeah, a couple big names.
I wouldn't say couple. One.
We
Henrik is about it.
Henrik Stenson's in the field. We've got Kevin Kisner, who tanked on me last week, which I don't really...
Won't be taking him this week because of that?
I might still take him, but I hope he...
Carolina boy, still in his home area.
Yeah, after last week, he kind of hurt me, so...
Yeah, and who knows if he's just burnt out and bummed.
Could be hungover from that loss, and it could affect him. We'll see.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not...
I will have very few shares, maybe one or two of Kiz, just to cover my ass, but not a huge fan of really anybody at the top, but we'll get into that in a minute. Weather-wise, it's supposed to be pretty good, right?
Yeah. Looks like I've got potential rain every day except Sunday, really. A little warm, 89.
It's the Carolinas, you're always going to have a small
Carolinas
chance.
In August,
probably
going to be
won't
hot and humid and potential rain every afternoon.
Yeah.
I think I heard that there's been some rain out there recently.
Well, yeah.
For the past few days, so of course should play soft.
Yeah. Not super long.
Not super long.
Most of the
soft.
holes are between 4.
Yeah, I think your longest par 4 is 501. 501. A lot of 418s, 428, 429 in that range. So not a real long course, but
which feeds into our key stats,
which are
not going to be bombers this week.
No.
So one of the few weeks on tour that you're not going to need a bomber to get there, because it is a shorter course. Only 2 par 5s, so you're not going to have to worry about needing the Eagles to get there.
No, and they're only 530 and 545.
So everybody in the field can get there too.
I don't even know that we have any bombers in the field this week.
Well, I mean, Power
in tradition of Rory, Dustin, those kind of guys.
Yeah, I mean, Peters isn't going to be there, things like that. Kokrak is there.
Yeah.
So I won't have any of him.
No.
So I don't care if he can hit it to the green. So the categories I'll be looking at is proximity to the hole from 125 to 150. That's where most of your second shots are going to be. That's how you're going to score on this course. Strokes gained putting, strokes gained tee to green, just overall. Par 4 scoring from 400 to 450. And birdies, just because you need scores.
Yeah.
So those are going to be my categories. You got anything different?
The only thing different I have is I have strokes gained off the tee.
Mm-hmm.
Even though it's short, I still think you're going to have to be accurate off the tee. And if you're not
That's
in the fairway,
where your boy Kiss comes in. He makes every fairway.
Yeah, but he's actually 14th on the list I have here based on my weight of the strokes gained off the tee. And I also have bogeys avoided.
Okay.
With the scores being where they're at, they're going to make bogeys, but they have to avoid as many as possible and make birdies. And I've got birdies weighted pretty heavy at 34%. I wanted to try something a little different this week. And I got Grayson Murray as my number 1 guy for birdies, but he's 80th in bogeys avoided. So
he's volatile.
Yes,
best.
he's up and down.
Okay.
So we'll see.
Yeah, so let's talk real quick on what strategy you're going to use this week in lineups wise, meaning how many you're going to enter, what kind of contest. I personally I'm going about half of what I went with the PGA last week, just with a low field. I got a gut feeling of who's going to win and things like that, but it's without the stars and scrubs. It's really, I wouldn't be surprised if a 6,900 guy won this week.
Oh yeah, could be a first time winner.
Oh, I mean, yeah. So I don't have a core guy
there's
that
no clear cut winner in this one. It's it's a lot like a web.com tour event.
It really is. So and the playoffs start next week, so I'm gonna save a little bankroll there.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go about half the lineups that I did last week, and then go from there.
Okay. I like it.
And then just kind of save the rest of my money for the tournament or the playoffs coming
next week.
Yep.
I'm gonna do 20 lineups.
Okay.
I would say 17 of them I based off of our good friends over at Fantasy National.
Okay. Yep.
With all their stats and everything, and then I always like to just randomly make up ones based on gut feelings and just kind of off the cusp and see what happens with them. I've done pretty well with that, so I'm going to continue doing that. But we'll see. I may throw in a couple more here and there depending on how the week goes. It's still only, Tuesday?
Yeah.
So anything can happen, but like you said, we got the playoffs coming up, need to save some bankroll, and we'll probably hit those pretty good with some more lineups.
Yeah. So let's get into it. We'll start with the top tier guys. Tell me who you like, who you don't like, how many shares you think you're gonna have, and then we'll go from there. So Stinson, Kiz, Duff, Haas, Webb Simpson, Ryan Moore, Keegan Bradley, Kevin Stanley, and Bud Colley, and your boy Grayson Murray, all above 9,000.
I like Duff. I think this could be a breakthrough event for him this year, and he could do something here where he hasn't done anything recently that really strikes me as good. Kisner, like I said, he could be hungover from that loss at the PGA last week. Stinson, I'm going to have a little bit of him. He is the favorite. I think he's coming in at 12-1 odds winning this. I'm not going to have a lot of him. I've got a decent number of Simpson and Bradley.
Okay.
I like James Hahn. He's a golfer that has done well for me in the past.
Okay.
So I'll probably have a few shares of him in that 9,000 to that 11.5 range. Bill Haas, I have none of.
I like Haas just because he doesn't score in the really high like par 5 stuff, but he scores really well in par 4s. He's as consistent as anybody on the tour.
Yeah.
He makes a lot of cuts. I like him a lot better when he's in the 8,800, not the 10-2.
Yeah, 10-2 is high.
But everybody's going to be up this week with the field.
Yeah, there's nobody in the field. The only reason I don't like Haas is because he's 122nd in the field in the 400 to 450 par 4s, 101st in strokes gained putting, and 93rd in strokes gained tee in my categories here. Same with Ryan Moore and Colley, 135 in birdies and 112 in birdies for Colley. They're not scoring. Haas is 95th. I need people that are making birdies. The score, we talked earlier about score being, we think probably that 20 to 21 under.
Yeah.
That's birdies. If you're not making birdies, you're not going to get there. I don't care how good you play off the tee or putt or anything. You have to make birdies. And that's why I weighed birdies so heavily. But, I think there are some people in that top tier that you can take and need to take because they're going to be there. And this is one where you've got to get through the cut.
Yeah, I gotta get everybody through the cut.
If we don't get everybody through the cut, wrap it up and do something else.
Right. We can go golfing on Sunday.
Yeah,
because our lineups aren't going to matter.
Yeah.
But with that, I think the only person in the top that I don't have any shares of is Ryan Moore. Don't want anything to do with him. Don't want anything to do with Kyle Stanley.
Don't have him.
So My core guys are probably, the shares that I'm going to have over my 20 lineups are probably 20 guys versus yours is probably closer to 12 to 15, I would say.
Yep.
So I have a little bit more shares and spread them over some guys just because, quite frankly, I want to have something of the winner. And there, I don't have a clear-cut idea who I think is going to run away with it. So I want to spread it over a little bit more guys than usual with the field that we have. So I'll go through mine. Kiz, I'm going to have 1 or 2. Stenson, 1 or 2. In this, I have more Haas than anybody. I have a little bit of Keegan. And my buddy Bud Colley, I think he's going to do well this week.
I don't know.
He stuck around, got some positive juju from watching JT win on Sunday. He's a good buddy, and he's fired up, and he's been playing well, and he scores really well on my model, so I'll have a lot of Bud.
Yeah, unfortunately I'm going to go the opposite of you.
Mm-hmm.
I have in my lineups, I've got 5 lineups with Stinson, 4 with Kisner, 4 with Simpson, and 5 with Bradley. And we go to Grayson Murray. I've got 6, and James Hahn 7. I feel like those guys are gonna really do well. I don't know that either of those guys are gonna win, but I feel like they're gonna make the cut, and they're gonna be that 16, 17 under, which is gonna score. And like we said, we got to make the cut, and that's what I'm trying to do with my lineup is get guys with the cut.
I do like James Hahn a lot this week. He played well last week for 3 of the days.
A little bit, yeah.
And plays well in Carolina most of the time. So he has been in really pretty good form over the last little bit.
One note I have here is Grayson Murray is semi-hometown.
Yeah, Raleigh.
So
45 minutes away.
Yeah, not far. So he might pull out a hometown victory. And like I said, I got him.
Or
in
he
6
could
lineups.
Tommy Fleetwood the Open.
And that was no good. I had a lot of Tommy Fleetwood, and he's on my naughty list right now.
Yeah. All right, so let's go down to the next list. 8900's been on. Martin, Lee, Stroud. What do you think of Stroud after the last 2 weeks? The Barracuda win, the awesome PGA up until the last day, and he just faded a bit, which...
I think I'll have a little bit of him. I don't think I'll have a lot of him.
If you talk about current form, he's got the most in this field.
He does well right now.
He's got to be exhausted after the last 2 weeks, mentally and physically.
I think his mental exhaustion is probably going to be bigger than his physical exhaustion. He
didn't even have different clothes. He had to keep the same clothes from
know.
Barracuda.
I know, but he weighs well here in these categories I have here. He's 27th in birdies, 79th in bogeys avoided, 72nd in 400 to 450 par 4s, and 23rd in strokes gained putting. So he's there statistic wise now.
In my model, I have Danny Lee as the number 1 rated guy across the board, and he's right here in the 8700.
Yeah.
So I'll have a lot of Danny Lee. I think that he's got a good shot of doing really well this week.
Yeah, I can
Shane
see
Lowry,
that.
I got nothing. What do you think about Lucas Glover?
I actually have him in 2 lineups.
Yeah. I faded him this week just because I got no feel for him.
That's the thing I have for him. I have feel. I have no statistics to go off of when I made that lineup. I didn't look at any of what Fantasy National had. He was one I just made up sitting at home. Looking through the list of golfers, now that I see him on Fantasy National, 24th in birdies, 71st in bogey avoidance, 21st in the par 4s, and 38th in putting. So he's got some weight behind him in the statistics. But like I said, I'm going to take him a couple times just because he has won a big tournament, so he knows how to win. He knows how to close.
So he's last 3, the PGA's 33, the John Deere's 25, 43 at the Quickens, and then he had 2 cuts with the U.S. Open and the Travelers. So kind of an up and down summer, but he's,
But he's made some cuts,
yeah,
and like I said, that's what we're looking for.
I just guess at 400, I'd like a little bit better than an average 20 or 30th finish.
But this is the kind of tournament that kind of guy could win. He could do well. And that's kind of what I'm looking at is the not necessarily ability to win, because I think that's going to be someone we're not going to have. It's going to come from down low or somewhere where people aren't looking.
Yeah.
But I think we're going to see the Lucas Glovers, the James Haans, the Chad Campbells, those kind of guys.
Yeah, we haven't got to
Campbell
Campbell yet, but so that I guess goes down to the next. I got Reevy. I got a lot of this week. He popped in every model that I ever put up this week. Sam Saunders, I never like. Seamus Power, I love a lot.
Yes, I think I've got a couple.
English, I like, but I'm not going to have any. Campbell, that's your boy?
That's my boy this week. I think he's going to do something for me. I'm not sure what it is. It's going to make me or break me.
Yeah.
Let me see how many shares I have him in. I know I've got him in a few. I just think he's going to do well. I think he's due for a really good round.
Yeah.
He's doing... Oh, we clicked over on me. Let me see where I got him. Check him. I've got him in 8 lineups, so he's my most.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Oh, no, actually, I have Sabbatini in 10.
Okay.
But I feel like he's going to do good at 7,900. We'll see. I like the way he's been playing, and I think this is going to be a middle-of-the-pack win. And I think it's going to be...
I do have a lot of people from 75 to 83.
Yep, that's where a lot of the lineup's going to come from.
A lot of the lineups. Chasen Headley comes from there. Robert Streb comes from there. Your boy Ollie Shenanigans.
Ollie Shenanigans.
Yeah.
I like him. I think I have him in a couple lineups. The only thing I don't like about Chad Campbell right now is his projected ownership is at 18%. So it's a little high.
That is high, but
we'll see what happens when it gets closer to time.
Yeah, that could fluctuate. I'm not going to read everybody because there is 150 in the field this week. So we'll go down to the rest of the 7,000s and see if anybody sticks out to you. Grilled cheese, you taking Grillo this week?
No, I'm not. One I see here, Billy Horschel.
Yeah, you like him?
I'm not sure, but he might be on one list because, again, I think, I can't remember what tournament he won, but I feel like he's got the capability of doing something versus what his stats say that he's doing.
Yeah, so he did win the Bayern earlier this year.
That's the Byron.
Yeah,
Byron.
He does have, a couple top fives. He's got that win, but he's got a handful of missed cuts. And that's where my laughter comes from. Yeah. I like Billy Horschel. I follow him on Instagram, and every time I pick him, he misses the cut.
Yeah,
so
he's not...
every single one of these tournaments that I pick him in, he's missed the cut. So I'm going to stay away from him. I'm going to secretly root for him, but I'm not going to take him and put my money on him.
Nothing.
No.
Yeah, he's 12 of 20 cuts right now.
Yeah.
He's better than 50%. So if you're looking for just cuts made, he's better than 0.5%, or percentage wise. But I think
that's pretty low.
It's pretty low compared to some of the other guys in the field.
Yeah.
Like I said, I think I have him in 2 lineups.
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken. So I like to cover my butt with people I feel can do something, and that's what I've done with him. So we'll see. There was somebody in there too.
Brandon Hagee. Got a feel on him?
No.
I do.
No.
I like him.
I like...
he pops in a lot of my
Lahari.
models. He's got some... he finished 5th at the Canadian Open. 18th at the Greenbrier. He hasn't missed a cut since the Travelers. I like Hagee. I'll have quite a bit of him there.
What about Streb?
I might have 2 Strebs. I could see him breaking out and winning, but I could also see him T59.
Okay.
Right? So, just
He's
depends.
missed a few cuts at similar style tournaments.
Yeah. He just doesn't. And
33rd last year here.
yeah. Russell Knox, you got any of him?
I do not have any Knox.
I don't either. He's really good from proximity of 125 to 150. So you'd think his putting's really good. He's 117th in putting.
That's
I can't have a guy that can't make putts.
That's the one thing I like we talked about Ollie Shenanigans.
Yeah.
I like him, and I won't lie, I'm only taking him based on his name because I like to call him Ollie Shenanigans.
Yeah.
But looking at his stats here, is basically a horrible pick because he's 125th in birdies.
Yeah.
However, he's 15th in bogey avoidance, but that doesn't score. Avoiding bogeys doesn't score, and he's 124th in strokes gained putting.
Yeah.
So
it's not good.
He might get benched. I might leave him in one lineup just to have him.
So this is where your gut comes in versus the model and what it says.
Mm-hmm.
And simply because his parents decided to name him Ollie.
That's
right?
it. That's the only reason.
Well, speaking of parents naming their kids, I love me some Smiley Kaufman.
Yeah.
So I will have me some Smiley this weekend.
Yeah. And
just because he's again on JT's boys.
Yeah.
Him and Jordan and Bud and Ricky all hang out, and they're all in that 20s, and he's got to win.
He might grab some of that karma and that winning form from JT and bring it on over to the Wyndham.
All right, what about Gmac?
No.
Past winner?
No, don't want any of them.
Missed the cut get this story. Missed the cut last week, right? Drove up Saturday and played practice rounds Saturday and Sunday at this course because he missed the cut at the PGA. Yeah, I don't have any. I'm just making a case for him, but I got none.
That's a good case, and he'll probably be in decent form.
Yeah.
14th in birdies, but 122nd in bogey avoidance. So every birdie he's going to make, he's going to kill us with bogeys. No, nothing on Gmac.
All right, so Rory Sabbatini,
Rory Sabbatini.
I like him.
That's my boy right there.
His putting's pretty bad, but everything else is pretty good. So
yeah, I mean, first in the par 4, 400 to 450, which the majority of these are there.
Yeah.
So that's gonna bode well for some scoring. We've got him at 5th in birdies and 38th in bogeys avoided. Yep. So I feel like he's going to make birdies and he's gonna not lose points because he's pretty good at avoiding getting in trouble.
All right, so that brings us down to basically everybody we've talked to in 7,000s and up that we like.
Yep.
So what I want to do is, what happens if you need a punt? What happens if you need a low guy? Go down that list and find me somebody that you like and you can make a case for down this list. Because I know who you're going to go to. We're just going to see if you'll say it.
The first one, and you know who I'll go to, is my boy Cameron Tringali.
Yes, that is him.
Again, I have no credentials to base this on, but I like his name, and when I've got money on the line...
He does make a lot of cuts.
He does.
I mean, you can't...
But there's no better name to scream when you're at work than Cameron Tringali. I dare you to try and find a different one, because you're not going to.
Well, that leads me to my guy then, I guess. Take 2 Mullenixes and call me in the morning.
Yes.
Trey Mullenix, man. I'm going to take him if I need a punt. That low at 6,900. I just think that he's not really got form.
What about Blix? At 7,000.
Blix, man.
He can't putt to save his life. He can't get off the tee.
He's a Thursday warrior, though, right?
Yeah, he's going to look good the first day.
Yeah, at least part of the round. No, I'm not taking him.
No, me neither.
What about anybody else you see down there? I see, the names of Ben Crane, who's got track record.
I think Ben Crane could do something again. I think this is one of those tournaments where there is a potential winner in that 7,000 and under category. Obviously, it's going to be very hard to pick that person because there are so many down there.
Yeah.
I mean, you got Davis Love the third down there, and he won.
Well,
2015. He won.
You got Goosen down there. You got some past major champions down there, but none of them that I want to go with. Ernie Els is down there.
Yeah, none that I can safely put on my lineup.
Your boy Steve Wheatcroft's down there.
Yeah, let's. Wheatcroft burnt me last year.
I know he did.
By the tune of a lot of money.
A couple grand, I know.
Yeah, what'd he go? He went, all he had to do was go par, and he went bogey.
Yeah.
And he ruined me, even though he's a hometown boy.
He is a Hoosier, so we'll take him.
No, we won't.
Oh, we won't?
No, if I'm going to take any Hoosier, it's going to be Chad Collins.
That's true.
He was on 59 Watch there a couple weeks ago.
He's got some decent form coming in.
He's got some decent form, and like we've said before, he's a Web.com player. This has the feel of a Web.com event.
Yeah.
So that might be Ishawaka might be someone might be able to take. And I mean, I hate seeing his name down here because I really like him. But my Ace Hardware friend, Hunter Mahan.
Hunter. Yeah, he needs to go sell another mailbox.
Yeah, he needs to do something because the days of him, like, in the Ryder ever since I think he duffed that chip, I think he's gone downhill, and I don't think he's ever going to outlive that moment. Other than that...
Guys you like, he's a fantastic follow on Twitter, is Stephen Bowditch.
Yeah.
His form is awful. To the tune of, like, one cut all year out of 16 events. Stay away from him, but he's fun on Twitter.
Yeah.
That's all I got for you.
That's the thing, when I do a lot of the quarter lineups just to play around.
Yep.
So if I do take someone like him,
yep,
or someone down there like Hunter Mahan because I like watching him in the Ryder Cup,
yep,
he only burns me on a quarter.
That's true.
But usually what happens is I'm sitting up there in 15th, 20th place, and Hunter Mahan or somebody burns me big time.
Well, so that's our punts. That's our low guys, and we've been through the list. So give me the guys you're fading, you're staying away from, you don't want any part of this week, and why?
McDowell.
Okay.
I
mean, that's obvious.
Luke Donald.
Oh.
I don't want any of him.
Okay.
Haas. Haas is not there for me.
Yeah. Me and you're gonna fight on that one because
we may have to. But
Haas is my man.
Come Sunday, you're gonna say, "I wish I would have listened to you."
Yeah. Well, I guess we'll see. And Kiz is on your list, right?
Kiz is on my list to stay away from, but I got him.
Oh yeah.
I got 4. I think it was 4 of him because he did play really well last weekend.
He did.
And short of having a meltdown the last.
Wasn't a meltdown.
What did he score on the last hole?
Well, he doubled the last.
He
had to go for it. He had to hole out. He knew it. He pulled it into the water. It didn't matter at that point.
But at that no, it didn't matter. But that's pressure.
That's not pressure. That's having to go for a hole out from the middle of the fairway.
But from the middle of the fairway, you go to the water.
I mean, you got to go at that pin, and he just tucked it.
I guess, but. I don't know. Like I said, I think he played really well. I think this is more his style tournament right now than the PGA, but we'll see. Staying away from, that's about it really that people might go for.
Yeah, my stay away from is just Ryan Moore. I don't get a good feel for him. He doesn't pop in my lineups that well, especially for the 9,600 that they're asking for him. I don't also like any Shane Lowry.
No, don't have any.
Not a Lucas Glover guy either. So there's my 3 punts. Tell me your core guys. Who is your 2-3 guys that are going to be in the majority of your lineups?
All right, well, right off the bat, I got Sabbatini.
Okay.
I feel like he's going to be very strong, solid. He's probably going to be, in my opinion, top 10.
Okay.
After that, I've got Chad Campbell.
Yeah.
And Seamus Powers and James Hahn.
Okay.
So those are my core guys that I feel like I'm going to rally around.
I got a similar one. I got James Hahn. I've got Seamus Powers. Power. I got Cheese.
Grilled cheese?
No. Reevy. Ches Reevy.
Yeah.
I like him. He's going to be in a lot of them. Where we're obviously, and we've talked about it, I like Campbell, but I also like Haas, and you don't.
Yep.
So that's my guys. I think we've covered everything. Is there anything else you want to cover other than our bold predictions?
Sure to go wrong. I think we've about got everything covered.
Okay.
Bold predictions.
Yep. Tell me your winner.
Summer Hayes.
Summer Hayes. We never mentioned him to this point in this podcast, and you like him to win. Were you sitting on that the whole day?
No. I think he is. He's made 18 of 24 cuts.
Yeah. Cuts don't mean wins.
Cuts don't mean wins, but you got to make the cut to win.
That's very true.
I feel like he's been. I don't know anything about his form or his statistics because I've got him in 2 lineups, and they're field lineups. But I think he's gonna do something, or Keegan Bradley.
Ooh, I like Keegan. I like him better than Summer Hayes. I like Summer Hayes. I just don't think he's got a shot to win.
You don't think so?
No.
Not at all?
Nope.
Okay.
But
I think Keegan can do pretty good. I just don't know if I can watch him putt and do all the stuff he does with his. Yeah, it's too much to watch. So if he wins, I'll hear about it from you texting me.
Yeah.
The
Can't
guy
be worse than watching Jordan Spieth, man. That guy's the slowest player on the.
He's one of them. One I would like to see win.
We could do that if you want.
Duffner.
You want Duff to win?
I want Duff to win. I like
Duff Daddy. I like Duff Daddy. All right, so you haven't asked, but I'll tell you who I think is going to win.
Who is your sure thing?
James Hahn.
I like it.
I think James Hahn's going to win it. His form's coming around. He likes the area. He's played well at this course.
I like it.
He can score. He's just my guy. So that's. And then if I'm going to go and make a dark horse, I'm going to take Power. Seamus Power. Okay. I think he's got a good shot at, top 5, but in making a run at the win. But
sure.
I think James Hahn's my guy.
James Hahn. I like that. I think I could deal with that. I think I could do that. So I can't think of anybody else that I would say would be in there. Chad Campbell. I mean, there's like we said earlier, the field is not strong.
But it's not. It's not strong in names, but I feel like it's pretty even. There's a lot of guys that could. Anybody on the tour is good enough.
Yeah, anybody can win, but it's not like some of these events where 10 guys, 12 guys are probably going to be your champion. This, I have the feel of there's 45, 50 guys that could come through and win, and that's kind of what makes this so hard. I'm not going to bet a lot of money on this week because
I'm not either.
There's no clear people in this to just take and say, okay, these guys are going to be there. So we'll bet some quarters, some dollars, and see what happens, and then wait for the playoffs.
Can't wait. It's been an exciting season.
It has been. It's been a lot of fun.
So ready for the tournament to start. That's for sure.
Yes, I am. I'm sad to see all the majors over.
Yeah.
It was an interesting PGA.
And no Ryder Cup this year.
And no Ryder Cup, just a President's Cup.
It's not as cool.
It's not as cool, but it's still fun to cheer for the USA.
Yeah.
But I'll be waiting for the Ryder Cup.
Yeah.
That's my event of the year.
All right. Well, I hope you guys have enjoyed this. We'll be back next week to tell you how awesome we are or how bad he sucks because he missed his picks. So, give us a like and subscribe. And